Hello there. I'm Scotty. You're not. We are talking about Smallville on the Smallville reviews. We are back with the Smallville retro. Hello there. I'm Scotty. You're not. We are back with the Smallville retrospective, and we are talking about season 1, episode 19, entitled Crush. Once I give the synopsis, I'm going to get the B plot out of the way because it's kind of just okay. So the main plot of this is around a guy named Justin, who is another one of those characters that was never previously established, but I guess he went through the school. He was in a car accident a few months earlier. Tomato from lunch, my pizza. So my heart. Anyway, he was in a car accident several months earlier. Now he's back and he has telekinesis. No explanation as to how he had it. He just said he woke up. There's no connection to the meteor rocks or anything. He just said he woke up in a full body cast and had the telekinesis. So I don't know. Our first scene is actually introducing us to him, where he kills his doctor, or injured his doctor's hand. I don't think he kills him. I think he injured his doctor's hands. Now he's returned to school, and he starts a relationship with Chloe. Our B plot. In the B plot, Lex Luthor is visited by his old nanny, who he is mad at because she took off after his mother died. And he needed her, and she left. But she says that Lionel was the one who told her to leave and never come back, because he wanted to shape him in his own image, which I believe over what he says, which is that she took the stock that Lex's mother left her, and went to an island went to vacation stuff. But one thing he does say that is true is that she has cancer and she is dying. And he gets closure with her, and that's the B plot. In the C plot, Lana clearly wants to be with Clark, but she still feels faithful. She has to be faithful to Whitney because she's been dealing with he's been dealing with his dad and everything, and then he's trying to get back, to that relationship status. But she's kind of feeling distant. She's not sure. She's barely seen him, and now he's around all the time now, so I don't know. Yeah, so the main plot here. Justin, as played by Adam Brody. I don't know what it is, but something about Adam Brody's acting in this episode comes off really weird. Like, he acts he's a good actor. I've seen him act better things. I think this was before the OC. So, maybe this is one of his first gigs. But he's not very good in this episode. There's just some way he goes about acting like, I woke up and I don't know. It comes off as awkward to me. Maybe that's what the character's supposed to be, but it comes off as a little too awkward. For me, anyway. But yeah. So, yeah, there's this whole thing at the beginning of the episode where Clark and Chloe were supposed to go to this conference thing in Metropolis, but Clark forgot because he's just spending all his time with Lana, which kind of leads to the Lana subplot where she actually wants to be with Clark. But Chloe, as we know, has a crush on Clark. And now Justin's involved, so now Clark is jealous. And they're going to go to the conference. By the way, by the end of this episode, they still haven't gone to the conference. It's like, hey, I still got those tickets to the conference because you got tickets from Lex. So if you want to go, I don't think we ever see that. So, yeah. And they're about college things. This episode is the end of Mr. Kwan, Principal Kwan, because he fucking dies. It's revealed that it was his car that was involved in a hit and run accident with Justin, So Justin shows up, and without even thinking that anyone else could have drove that car, he just decides, nope, it was Quan, and runs him over with his own car into his garage. Yeah, and then, surprise, surprise, it's revealed that it wasn't Quan that drove the car, it was his son Denny, although this is the first time we've ever met Denny, so you'd be remiss for not trying to figure that out. But I remember the first time I watched this, I'm like, I don't think the principal would do that. It's just the way to kill him off so that next season, because only 2 episodes left of this, next season they can introduce a new character that doesn't really go anywhere. Like, goes nowhere. They introduce this guy, he's in a few episodes, and then he's just gone. And there's no authority presence in the high school for the rest of the time they're in high school, but yeah. Justin as a villain is kind of meh. And the way they get to the finale is just weird. Cause like Clark tries to tell Chloe what's going on, and Chloe won't believe him because they're at odds, and she thinks he's jealous. Even though she knows he has. By this point, she knows that Justin has telekinesis, but with the stuff that he's saying, just she won't believe it. Even when she's like, I never got anything. Yeah, you did. It came in. Justin was here. And she's ignoring facts right in front of her because she just wants to believe that Clark is jealous. When she finally realizes it, though, because she looks at Justin's art book, because he's an artiste. By the way, like, he tells her the first day he's back he can't do his cartoon for the torch anymore because he can't draw. The next day, he brings her a drawing of herself. And she doesn't question him, and then when they're smooching, you hear this horrible CGI of the floating CGI, and then the camera has a 360 spin thing going on. It's like, oh, no, stop. It looks terrible. I'm sorry. 2001, but by this point, 2002, CGI, not so good, no. Which was before the OC. I think OC was 2003. I know Montreal was, but anyway. Yeah, so she realizes that Clark was right, so she's like, oh, I gotta go, first of all, she says, oh, I remember I have to go meet Clark at his house. Then she goes to his house. Chloe, you could have gone anywhere. If you are going to run away from this person, do not go where you tell them you're going to go. You say, oh, I got to meet Clark at his house. Go somewhere else. In fact, we find out Clark's actually at the Talon. That's right. At the Talon. And just so happens that Chloe calls just as he and his mom are walking in. And he has to rush back to the barn where we have our showdown with the artiste. And I do like it though, because he uses the telekinesis to fling Clark into the what do you call that? Into the loft. And he's like, oh, you didn't stick the landing, Clark. And he turns around and he's right there. He's like he has a confused look on his face. By the way, Chloe is knocked out at this point. She goes sleep. So, maybe Barrett would win. I'll give him a rematch. Anyway, yeah. And then he knocks Justin unconscious. And they say Justin's going to be fine. I think Justin would have been a good one for season 3's Asylum, where they bring back former meteor freaks to come back. He would have been good to do like a trio of meteor freaks, but we'll talk about that episode when we get to it, because that episode they dropped the ball on bringing back collective meteor freaks and what they could have done with that. But yeah, we never see Justin again, probably because he wanted to be on the OC, so they couldn't really bring him back. But yeah, and then Clark and Chloe decide they're going to try, I guess, that relationship. I mean, they're holding hands, and you can see Lana's looking on his face. she's upset by this. But then we get one of the saddest endings to an episode that we'd have, I think, until season 5. It's really sad. Whitney comes walking in. And Lana is like, Whitney, we have to talk. But you can see there's something on his face. There's something wrong by the look on his face. But I'd say, we have to talk. She wants to break up with him. But she sees look on her face. She goes, what's wrong? He goes, it's my dad. Cut to a funeral. Whitney's dad passed away. I don't think they ever specifically say what it was, but I'm assuming it was another heart attack. It was during the middle of the day, so he didn't die in his sleep unless he was taking a nap. So, another heart attack. My issue with this scene is, I mean, it's a scene that made me cry, but everyone is there. Clark, Chloe, Pete, the Kents. I think Lex might even be there. Everyone is there. They didn't know. Maybe Lex isn't there, but like everyone but Lex, I think, is there. So it's really weird to see that. And there's a shot like of Clark standing in the rain, which they'll do quite a bit in the show. He's standing in the rain. He's staring at Lana as she's walking away. As this is kind of symbolizing like. Throughout the episode, they have had conversations. And I gotta give it to Kristen Krug again. During the conversations with her and Clark, where he's talking about Chloe and how he cares about Chloe, you can see in her eyes that it is getting to her. She's got that look in her eyes like, oh, I wanted to, and this moment here where they're staring at each other and Clark has realized that if there was a chance Lana to break up with Whitney, now it's gone. And so, like, I'm not going to say that he's going to settle for Chloe, but he's already decided to go forward with Chloe because he knows this. But now, because he knows that Lana and Whitney are a thing, but now it's concrete this has to happen until we get to the finale. We'll talk about that when we get to it. But this episode was decent. I'll give it a 3.5. Superman logos out of 5. I think it's decent, but it's not, the 4.5s and 5s are for the higher quality ones. This was fine. It's better than the last one, which I gave it a 2.5, I think. The last one was the worst episode of the season. This one was decent, except for the B plot with Lex Luthor. Everything else was fine. But what are your thoughts on this episode? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. We got 2 episodes left to the end of the season. Then I'm taking a break. Not just for the weekend, but I'm going to do something else next week. Something I should have done last week. But we'll do it next week. Or this week, I should say. We do it next week. Possibly the sequel-a-thon. Well, we'll see where it goes. But anyway, thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.